So great start to the Saturday morning photo shoot. A couple of owners of this car just came up, which me and Benny have been photographing obsessively. But yeah, now we've done that, we're gonna head off into the centre of Burleigh, get a few shots of all of the coffee culture and surf culture and everything that's going on around there, and make use of some very highly saturated colours in the sea, which we'll be able to see pretty quickly once we get along this way. Benny's got 35 today, I've got 24 to 70, and yeah, let's get into it. One thing I've been trying to do lately is actually go out with a proper objective for the street photos. I've made a number of folders on my computer just to fill up with project ideas. So one of them is like textures and doors and stuff like this. And today, just looking at the conditions, I think I might make the theme for today basic complementary colours, because we've got some really strong blues. So I'm going to be looking for some reds to go with that, and some greens if there's some nicely saturated greens. Not ones like this, because I don't like that sort of green very much because it's got too much of a yellow hue in it. But if I find some slightly colder green tones, I might try and make use of that. And yeah, and maybe some yellows. If I do find some nice strong yellows, I'll have a look at using those too. There's some nice aquas in there with the blue. If you have a closer look. So if anyone's got swimwear that works with that, then make use of that as well. All right, entering the activity zone, or rather the high frequency street photography shot zone, which is the beginning of the sort of, how do you say, cafe slash bar section of Burleigh. I'll give you a look at the kind of colours we're working with today. This is why I'm doing complementary colours today. Here is our establishing shot, I would say. Bit of an empty foreground, but you can get rid of that just by getting a bit low. This is the part of the street walk which at 70 millimeter helps out with it a little bit, just because people are spread out a bit on the beach. This is why Benny is probably going to enjoy the sort of closer quarters stuff that we have down this way here. The other thing I'm trying to do today is a little bit less shooting and a little bit more looking, which means actually lining up the shot first before taking it and making sure it's worth taking a photo of. It'll save me some editing and culling time, and hopefully also train my brain to actually recognise a worthwhile scene. Massive sand crawly caterpillar sort of thing here today, with some nice details on the wheel, which I believe is here because I've been pushing a lot of sand out onto the beach to just help reconstruct it. There's been a few storms lately, so it always strips back the beach a little bit, and being the Gold Coast, the people want their beach back, so the sand has been brought to the people and the people are happy. So it's been quite a slow start so far, having a really hard look to find worthwhile frames, and as a result haven't actually taken that many. So I'm just trying to tick off a few compositions as I go along, look for some inanimate things before I warm up into some more dynamic action shots. There's some good colour over here, so I'm hoping that'll give me a little bit of inspiration as we continue along. Alright, having covered the beachfront with Benny, we're now going to go and have a look around the back streets of Burleigh, which is sort of the shopping district and the coffee shop district. I know I mentioned that before, but we got distracted with the beach and yeah, got a few things there. I got one or two shots I'm happy with, but I still feel like I'm warming up a bit actually. So I began this one by talking about how I try and look for complementary colours, but it's quickly becoming more of a tutorial about how to get through a rut because we just haven't seen a lot of shots. Neither me or Benny, we're just trying to work out if it's just we're off or if it's the different setting or any number of things really. So we're going to change things up and actually head over to Broadbeach. It's funny because there's a lot of pretty things, but I'm not actually seeing shots I want to take, so we're going to just change it up. Trying our luck in Broadbeach. Very different vibe, usually a little bit quieter, easier to pick out subjects, and it does seem a bit more open, so we might get some cleaner lighting conditions for some high contrast imagery. Yeah, let's get to it. Hopefully get luckier here. Some decent shots so far. Just stopped by the volleyball courts and got a few basic action shots over there. Seems to have kick-started things. Just a bit more going on and the light feels a bit better. It's a bit easier to work with. So keep on keeping on with this scene and come up with a few more frames. This is the influence of the Barbie movie continuing to spread.
That's a big dog, bro. Look at me, a fucking dog.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
What a bastard. That was literally 2 months before it broke out that I changed my alias to Pandemic, and then it broke out because not everyone. So many people were asking me, "What's pandemic? What does that even mean?" I was like, "How do you not know?" And then we had it, so I was like, "This is what it means, I guess." And since I'm Asian, it's kind of like I manifested the whole pandemic.
Here we go, city time. We're gonna head into the CBD now, I think. everyone. It's taken me a while to get through the 100 or so photos, which I did colour a little bit down for the video before eventually getting to this stage where I can sort of review how the whole session went. I think both me and Benny thought it was a really good decision in the end that we decided to move from Burleigh to Broadbeach, because when we were in Burleigh, even though there were some characters and there were some colours that we really liked, I think just overall the way the light was hitting just wasn't working with our vision. We would see something that we thought was interesting and the light just wouldn't be hitting it in the right way, so we wouldn't take a photo. And then other times we would see good light and it would be on a subject that we just weren't interested at all in taking a photo of. So we did make that decision, I think rightly, to move on to Broadbeach, where the light was a bit more even, it was clearer, it wasn't so mottled. In Burleigh there was a lot of mottled light in that it was patchy over both the subject and the background, the whole scene in fact, and it just made it really difficult to put people into the scene and bring the focus to them. So when we got to Broadbeach and we found that we had these good spots of light, good framing, good elements in the frame that we could use to frame the main subject, it really helped both of us, I think. I know that Benny wasn't really all that happy with a lot of the stuff that he got in that session, but there was some good stuff in there, I think, from both of us. It's just that it wasn't quite, neither of us had the hit rate that we would normally like to have. But you know, that's street photography. You can't expect to go out every day and get the average amount of shots that you would always get. It is a law of averages. Some days you go out, you don't get stuff. Some days you go out and you get twice the amount of shots that you think you might get. So lessons learned. I'm hoping that when we go to Burleigh again, we have slightly better conditions, but yeah, that's just something that we have to wait for and look for. And I think we're both happy to stick around, maybe do some better research and ensure that we really execute when the right conditions do eventuate. So yeah, that's all from me for now. Thanks for watching everyone, and I hope to see you in the next one.